So 2023 was a crazy year. Twitter became X, some millionaires died attempting to go see where thousands of other people died, and a woman was hit in the face with a brick. Or was she? Does anyone remember this lady?
What have I ever done to anybody in my life?
Well, surprise, surprise, she lied and now she's facing serious criminal charges.
The woman at the center of a viral video who claimed a man threw a brick at her head because she would not give him her phone number is now wanted by Houston police.
The story became viral around September 2023 regarding a woman getting hit in the face with a brick in front of a bunch of guys. The initial story, according to her on-scene statement in her Instagram live after the altercation, she was walking on Schumacher Lane when an unknown man threw a brick at her after she denied giving him her phone number. She would also go on to claim that the man was an Uber driver who was trying to kidnap her. Now, like me and many others, the story already doesn't line up, with most people, including myself, interjecting that if she was hit in the face with a brick, it would have probably lacerated her skin, broke a couple bones, knocked a couple teeth loose, etc. Simply put, in my opinion, her injuries wasn't really consistent with being hit in the face with a brick. But it turns out that was only a drop in comparison to the waterfall that would come in next. Police would attempt to follow up with the investigation on September 15, contacting a number that was given to them by Rhoda Osman, aka the Brick Lady, which would end up being the number of her friend who was there the night of the altercation. The story, according to the friend, was her and Osman were being picked up by Osman's male friends, Osman sitting in the back seat and the friend sitting in the front seat. And according to the friend, out of complete nowhere, the Brick Lady screams, quote, "Ouch, why you hit me." The friend also notes that there was no argument prior to this, and according to charging documents, she also says she doesn't think that the Brick Lady was hit with a brick. Now, a couple days later, detectives was finally able to reach the Brick Lady, and during questioning, her story would conveniently change up, saying after leaving the club with her friend, she called an Uber. When a dark colored sedan pulled up, her and her friend, assuming that it was the Uber, got inside of the car. And it was at this point she was hit with a brick. She would also go on to say that after doing her own research, she found the guy that assaulted her, identifying the man by name, Olin Douglas. According to documents, she would then get more upset as detectives asked her more questions regarding the situation, going complete Karen on him and asking for a supervisor before ultimately hanging up. Probably because it's really hard to be a liar and be questioned about your lies while thinking of new lies to cover up your old lies when you don't even remember the old lies. Anyways, while police investigation is going on, people online are doing a little digging themselves, discovering that not only did the Brick Lady assault men for content and entertainment, but also, more importantly, that this wasn't her only time alleging assault and receiving tons of donations for it.
Grew up and they mad because you trying to beat somebody. They mad because you trying to beat somebody. I'm trying to be a doctor and they mad. Look what they did to me.
TikToker Daphne Sutton would take to the police an eerily similar allegation made by the Brick Lady back in 2020. The Brick Lady would claim to be allegedly beaten by a private security in Minneapolis, Minnesota, while filming him allegedly beating someone else, claiming to have multiple face contusions, a black eye, and injuries to her leg. While investigating this, Minneapolis police would confirm with Houston detectives there hadn't been any record of the Brick Lady being assaulted, and that the last contact they had with her was in 2012 when she was arrested for public lewdness and disorderly conduct, which, unlike the alleged 2020 incident, is actually documented. Rhoda Osman, aka the Brick Lady, was initially arrested on prostitution and indecent exposure charges on May 18th, 2012, which was brought down to a disorderly conduct charge, which she was then convicted for. All this effectively debunking the 2020 story that she's still standing by today. Now you may ask, what about the surveillance footage? Well, police were able to get surveillance footage from the neighboring business that also, surprise, surprise, details a very different story than the Brick Lady. According to surveillance footage, the Brick Lady, the friend, and the accused perpetrator walked into the club all together. Around 5:30 a.m., they all walked out and got into a white Maserati. Shortly after, Osman and Douglas, the accused perpetrator, step out of the car, seemingly arguing. Then Osman, aka the Brick Lady, proceeds to hit the man in the face. Olin Douglas proceeds to hit her back with what detectives believe was a water bottle, striking her in the face. Olin Douglas would then drive away in a separate car, and the Brick Lady would proceed to go on Instagram Live and tell everyone the story that she was hit in the face with a brick and a bunch of men stood by while it happened, which we all know now was a blatant, disgusting, and divisive lie to try and exploit abuse sensitivity for monetary gain, all the while discrediting all the real victims and the real stories with her lies. Olin Douglas, the man who was initially accused, went on to say this on Channel 2 in Houston.
It's as if she was trying to get in some type of conflict,
but says she was aggressive and very intoxicated. They ended up in a car with friends.
She physically didn't start touching me until I asked her to leave. So you gotta get out.
Outside the car, Houston police say surveillance video then showed Osman slapping him in the face before he hit her back with what appears to be a plastic water bottle in hand.
You should never hit a woman in general, but I didn't want to hit her, actually. It was like she hit me and I just reacted. It's been a divide between, you know, black men, black women, and it's really evil what she did.
If police didn't have this surveillance video, this evidence that basically clears you, what kind of situation do you think you would be in?
I would be that guy that hit a girl with a brick.
And after all evidence has been gathered, Houston police has issued a warrant for Osman's arrest for theft by deception, which as of today, she's technically on the run for. Unfortunately, there are still people defending this even after all of the lies have been exposed, like the scenario in which it happened, like saying he asked for her number, saying she didn't know who the man was despite being seen going into the club with him trying to kidnap her, him being a sex trafficker, him being an Uber driver, hitting her with a brick, lying to the police department didn't take her seriously when in fact she was the one that didn't give police officers her number, and according to police, she was the one that was hard to contact. Not only did she try to profit off of demonizing black men and exploiting sensitivity of assault on black women, but she also attempted to ruin a man's life over a narrative that was a blatant lie, and I think she deserves the harshest sentence possible for that. Thank you.
You're a liar! You're a liar! You know something that you're not telling us, you slimy scumbag liar! You know, that's what people would say to me.